Hey there guys, Sowerz here with another commentary about EGL9, which was a couple of days ago now, and we just got back yesterday. So I thought I'd do this commentary kind of wrapping up the event, my thoughts on it, for those of you who might not have seen everything and heard everything about the event. But yeah, in the end guys, we came third place, which we're really pleased with. Second out of the EU teams, so we can't complain about that. Really good result for us to say we had about 1 week's practice all in all. You know, our S&D game and CTF, we didn't really practice that much, and it kind of showed at the event really, but our hardpoint game was just absolutely on point. The only team we lost, well, we lost hardpoints to Impact, but also Cloud, no other team we dropped a hardpoint to in every single one of our matches. And even the ones against Cloud, they were really close hardpoints as well, so our hardpoint game was so strong. And the only things that let us down was just our CTF game was pretty awful. We had no organisation on it, no real solid defence really, and we knew that, and that's something we can work on, which is a good thing, because you know, if we can work on that and improve that for the upcoming events, then we'll be much stronger. S&D we had a really bad start on. We didn't win about 5 or 6 maps in a row on S&D, but then towards the end we started to step it up, but by then it was too late really. But yeah, like I said, we came third place. Obviously Freako Impact, they dominated the event in some sense. Well, they didn't exactly dominate, but they didn't drop a match. They lost quite a few rounds, a lot more than they did at MOG. So, you know, when you see people saying, "Oh, you know, America's better," this and that, you know, maybe it's just another case of when Optic were better than everybody else. You know, maybe it's just Freako Impact are that extra step ahead of everybody else, even in America. And it would seem that way since they only dropped 2 maps in MOG. So if anything, like for the European scene, it's you know, to actually take about 8 to 10 maps off them, or something like that, I think that Impact dropped. To me, that shows to us that we are on the same level as the Americans, you know, the rest of the American teams. So it'll be interesting to see how, you know, if more American teams come over, how they would get on, and vice versa if we went to MLG. Obviously, there is CoD Championships next week, but you know, Americans won't know this, but really, let's be honest. You look at the teams that placed in the top 12, and the only teams there are obviously my team, which will have Excellence, which is probably the strongest European team going into it. Other than that, there's Dragons, who had a really bad event, came 13th to 16th. So that kind of shows like the calibre of teams going. There's only really one top team in Europe, and maybe obviously Dragons just had a bad event, so you could say Dragons and Epsilon are going to be like the 2 challengers. But there's so many top teams, obviously Cloud, All Stars, TCM, these kind of teams which haven't got the opportunity to go. So, you know, CoD Championships I don't think is a fair indicator of which scene is the strongest, not by a long shot. Obviously, you know, if the Americans do dominate the event, they'll be, you know, they'll make sure that we know about it, but like I say, you know, I've explained my reasons as to why I don't think that's a true indicator. But anyway, enough about that event. This is obviously about EGL9, and for us, I'll kind of talk through our run. Obviously the group stages, we played against Cloud. Really close games. We lost 3-2 and we felt we should have won it. We pretty much dominated the hard points. Lost both S&Ds, which were pretty close, about 6-4s I think on both. And then CTF, we just got counter-capped and we kind of narrowly lost that. So really we could have beat Cloud there. And you know, obviously they beat us 3-2 there, but it didn't really matter too much on the group stages. Then we played against EQ, which we beat pretty comfortably 3-1. We dropped the CTF, I believe, or S&D. I think it was S&D maybe. But both our hardpoints, once again, we dominated those. So we were looking strong on hardpoint. And then we played against Freako Impact. And, you know, this was one of those games where our heads just weren't in the game for some reason. You know, it was, I think we played them on the Saturday morning, I'm not sure. I can't remember actually. But our heads just weren't in the game at the start, and it kind of showed. And we fell too far behind on the hardpoint slums. I was kind of having a good game on that map, but the teamwork wasn't there. The awareness of all of our players wasn't there. You know, we even said after, that's something we need to sort out for the future games. S&D and CTF, you know, we didn't, to be honest, looking back, we're never going to win it against them due to the lack of practice. We didn't even play S&D barely online at all. CTF, same with that really. You know, we had no organisation really. So to beat like a team like Impact on those game types would have been very hard to do. We definitely would have had to take both hardpoints and maybe get a lucky S&D to have a chance against them. But I still do think if we were at the top of our game, you know, and we got hyped before the game, we could have definitely given them a much bigger challenge. I think if we beat Cloud in the loser bracket final, then I think we could have really given Impact a much better game, because we were a lot more hyped. And even though we lacked the energy towards the end, which I'll talk about in a bit, but yeah, that wrapped up our group. We came third, I believe, in our group, which, you know, we weren't really too bothered about, but at the same time we didn't play as well as we'd have liked. We got a bit unlucky in some games, but that's just how it is. Then we went into the loser bracket. We had 2 games which were pretty comfortable. Can't remember the team names. I think one was Jack B's team, who's an ex-CoD 4 player. He kind of came back with some guys that I knew, I think, and we beat them pretty comfortably 3-0. Then we played another team, which is Bandit's team. I'm not sure what they were called. Beat them 3-1. They seem to like shouting a lot of trash talk. I'm sure you've probably seen a lot of teams that were playing them getting a lot of abuse from them, but it was good to give them a good battering 3-1 in the end. Absolutely destroyed them on the last map, and it felt pretty good. Then after that we played Prophecy, I believe. I'm just trying to think. Did we play Prophecy? No, actually no. We played Cloud, didn't we? So yeah, we played Cloud. No, we played Millennium. We played Millennium. That's the one. Winner bracket. So we played Millennium in the quarterfinal of the winner bracket, and obviously that was a really close game. We went 2-0 down. We were 2-0 down and we had to make the comeback, and it was a similar case as it was to Freaker Impact. We kind of said when we were 2-0 down, look, we need to get our heads in the game, because once again we just didn't seem to have the right mentality going into it. It's one of those things where sometimes when you sit down and you start playing your first map, nobody's heads are fully switched on, but when you get into later maps you're fully engaged into the game. We were struggling to get fully engaged from the very start. That was what our problem was all tournament really. And we don't know why really, but we kind of got a lot better towards the end with that. But we were 2-0 down. We took the CTF, which was really close, and that was kind of the spark that we needed. We knew this was a lifeline for us, 2-1 down, and then we absolutely obliterated them on the Express hardpoint. We all went like +8 at least, all of us, which is very rare to see. All 4 of us just put a great performance in, and when that happens, you know, we ended up winning by about 150 points, maybe more. Which, you know, against a team like Millennium is a strong result for us. Then the S&D, we won 6-4. Some clutch players all around. I managed to get a nice 1v3 against them as well there. But I watched it back on the streams and didn't get to see my first kill. But from my point of view, it was much better. It was a shame that they couldn't see it from the full 1v3 from my point of view. But yeah, it was a big round. I think that kind of sparked us on to kind of take the rest of the map, and we looked pretty comfortable. And we took it 6-4 in the end, and so we won 3-2. I think that pretty much devastated Millennium for the rest of their tournament. I think they lost their game straight after that, which didn't surprise me because they were devastated to losing to us really. Then we went on to play Cloud. We lost 3-1 in the winner bracket. We were about to make it 2-2 once again. I think we went 2-0 down. I can't remember. I'm just trying to think. Anyway, we were 2-1 down, and it was hardpoint Yemen, and we had a 60-point lead with 2 minutes left, and we pretty much just didn't set up well enough on the Churchill. Our setup was pretty bad really. We had 2 of us in the hill, and we didn't really have support around the hill and church and Yamin, and they kind of took control of it. I had probably one of my best maps all tournament on that map as well, but that's just the way it is, you know. It's not about individual players. People are starting to realise it's about teamwork. Freaker Impact have shown that, you know, their teamwork is insanely good. You watch them, they work together in every single game type. They're always trying to use their teammates to their advantage. And that's exactly what it's all about. It's not about individual players just doing their own thing. And, you know, that's kind of what our problem was on that last hill, which we kind of lost. And that kind of gave them the score streaks they needed, which they pretty much landed everywhere on the statue hill on Yemen, and it won them the map. And they took it 3-1, which was a big blow for us. You know, I think if we took that hard point, we could have had a real good chance of beating Cloud again. So all of our matches against Cloud were really close, and it was, you know, they just managed to pull through every time. But, you know, they're a strong team. Then we after that we went into the loser bracket, beat Prophecy in a really close game. Once again we won both hardpoints. That was the first hardpoint we dropped against European teams against Cloud, so we knew we were strong at that. We won both hardpoints pretty comfortably against Prophecy, which I always like to say that I think if a team wins both hardpoints they deserve to win, and in the end we did win, so I think that was well deserved on our part. Both S&Ds were 6-5, so they could have gone either way. You know, so at the end of the day, sorry, I just got a text there. At the end of the day, you know, it was a tough game, it was a close game, you know, it wasn't easy, but the CTF, they pretty much outplayed us. Once again, our teamwork on CTF let us down. That's just the way it is. So Prophecy ended up placing 5th, 6th, and that's the 3rd time in a row I beat Prophecy, I think, on land, so pretty good win for us there. Kind of gave us a bit of motivation beating a team like that, to then play Freak All-Stars, and this was a tough game for us to go into because All-Stars all day had been 3-0 in every team they'd played. They hadn't dropped a map all day. Beat TCM 3-0 I believe as well, just before they were playing us. And excellence from Prophecy kind of helped us a lot against these, I think, because straight from the off, you know, our heads were in the game. We took the first 2 maps to go 2-0 up, which was big for us because, you know, that's the first time we've done that all tournament, I think, going 2-0 up, except for the first round of the winner bracket. And you know, our hardpoint game, once again, we didn't drop one hardpoint against them. We only lost the CTF, we won the S&D. So that was a strong result for us. 3-1 against All Stars, and that obviously put us in the top 3 area. Then we had to play against Cloud, and obviously we lost against them again in some more very close games. So you know, well deserved by Cloud. I think on another day it might have gone either way, but you know, they're all nice guys and they deserve it. Great result for them, second place. Obviously Impact taking the win. I know that gameplay is coming towards the end there, guys. That was a pre-scrim against TCM in the background for you there, so if you enjoyed that. But I really appreciate all the support that I got through Twitter as well, guys. I got a lot of tweets from you guys, and it really does help us out when we look on Twitter and see people cheering us on, kind of thing. So yeah, I really appreciate all the support on Twitter, guys. Make sure you like the video. All support really helps me out, and I'll see you in the next commentary, guys, so take it easy.